Computer. Yay. All right, my loves. I'm just going to mute everybody for clarity and no background noise. How are you? Oh my gosh, it's been 2 weeks since we've done this together. So much has happened in 2 weeks. So welcome back. I missed you. And I'm so excited to do this with you today. And tonight we have our Life After Narcissism membership call as well. So lots of juicy stuff going on. And so we're going to continue with the series of how to spot a narcissist. And today's topic is how to remove yourself from the relationship without becoming enmeshed in drama. And this came from, again, all of these topics come from you. They came from you asking the questions, and then I copied and pasted it, put it in a Google Doc, and this is where I get these topics from. So first I want to say, if you have a topic that you would like me to cover, PM me, let me know in the thread, email me, let me know what topic that you would like for me to cover. And I started this series because if you are a survivor of narcissistic abuse, you understand that spotting people who don't have empathy is an important skill to foster. And I think it's a great topic for those who are recovering. And that's us, right? And the answer to this question is always, thank you, baby, is always going to be the same coming from me. You must heal from the past narcissistic abuse, any and all abuse that you've experienced, and then you will never attract a narcissistic partner again, period. Heal. That's the answer. Heal. But I'm going to give you the answers to the questions that you ask. And I'm going to give you the answers that I'm not going to give you the answers that you can Google, right? I always say this. I'm going to give you the deeper ones because what's the sense if you can just Google and get it, right? And the number one thing to solve this problem is to heal from it. Heal from it. Okay. Therapy is great. Talking about it is great. Educating yourself about it is great. And those are all stepping stones to the act. It's part of the healing to the actual healing, because the healing requires for you to face your crap, face the truth, face the stuff, right? And I know that's not easy, but ultimately that is the answer. Okay. So you're going to get the answers to questions like, if you'd like to get some one-on-one during these lives, you can join by Zoom. You have to request it beforehand so I can prepare for that. All right. So how do you remove yourself from the relationship without becoming enmeshed? I don't know why they said enmeshed. Immersed is what I would choose as a word in drama. So I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you my story of the old Denise, the Denise who was accepting abuse, and how she removed herself from the 22-year relationship without becoming enmeshed in the drama. I don't know if I did such a good job of that back then. I'm going to share this with you anyway. Okay. So, what that looks like was, my chat is just now coming up. Okay. I'm at work, trying to listen at work. Okay, great. You can always catch the replay. No worries. I am in need of preparing for a smear campaign, having to co-parent with the narc. Yeah, great topics. Okay. All right. So let me go back to 2010, the end of 2010, when my entire, like, so much crap had happened, especially from 2008 with the my ex-husband attempting suicide and all the things that involved with that. So now let's fast forward to 2010, the end of 2000, it was December of 2010. I remember my daughter, who was about to graduate in 5 months, so May of 2011, and she said to me, Mom, I don't want to go to college here in Florida. And I was like, okay, that's random. Okay. What do you like? Where do you want to go to college? Anyway, fast forward, long story short, it was the breadcrumb, because remember, we get guidance through the breadcrumbs if we follow them. It was the breadcrumb that led me to, oh, let's move out of the state to North Carolina, away from this shit show that we were in, and start over again. So the old Denise, the abused, the one who, the Denise who was accepting abuse, was scared, no doubt, because that Denise was so codependent financially on her ex, then husband, that she had no idea of how she was going to move 3 states away. Where was the money going to come from? How was this going to happen? All of those ideas, all of those thoughts came into my head. And it took me some time to really sit and get away from all of the drama, clear myself from the drama, and really strategize and come up with a plan where we can leave safe and sound and start over again. And ladies, I'm telling you, that all began here, right here. And this is what you have to do as well, I had to shift my thoughts from the abused Denise, who was thinking, where am I going to go? The scared abused Denise, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? How's this going to happen? Like all those things that came into the abused Denise's head, and shift over to the empowered Denise, who thought like this. Okay, I've tried it for 22 years. It isn't working. This is what's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to happen, but this is the plan. This is what's going to happen. So the first thing that I thought to myself was, I need money. Take some money to move from South Florida to North Carolina, right? Moving truck, a new place, all the things, So the first thing I had to do was, how much money do I need? So then I put it all out on paper, and I was like, okay. And this was 2011. Okay. $10,000. $10,000 feels good. I feel like with $10,000, I could do the move, right? Renting the Penske truck and gas and all of that to get to North Carolina, get an apartment, right? First, loss in security, and also pay for a few months ahead of the rent. Okay. So that's the amount of money that came into my head. All right. So this is the financial part. I'm going to get to the drama part. So for me, the empowered Denise said, okay, $10,000 it is. I don't know how or where this $10,000 is going to come from, because remember, I didn't have a job, nor did I have a career, nor did I have a college education. I was running my then husband's business, and all of the money that came to me was funneled through him and his business. So it was really a big question of, where's this money going to come from? Okay. So the abused Denise kind of went into hiding, and the empowered Denise showed up, and she was like, okay, we're doing this. Don't know how this money's going to show up, but we're doing this. We're going to go through the motions. We're going to do this. Okay. So what I did was, like I said, I made a plan. I wrote everything down, and I started to move towards that plan. right? Because here's the thing about the you now versus the future you. And this was the difference between the abused Denise versus the empowered Denise. Okay. Everybody thinks that you have to do, have, and be, but in actuality, you have to be, so I had to be the empowered Denise first, do the things to get there, and then I'll have it. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat and on Facebook if that makes sense, or if you need more clarity on that. Because I really want you to get that. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then I'll know to either continue. Okay, perfect. All right. So everybody thinks you have to do, then you'll have, then you'll be that version of you. Okay, so look at yourself as two people. The version of you now, so the version of me then was the abused Denise, the one who was putting up with the abuse. And then look at the future version of you, right? The empowered version of you. All right. And so you have to first be the empowered version of you first, then do the things that are going to get you there to have what you are asking for, what you want. So going back to the Denise that I was, I had to be the empowered version of me first, which looked like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but here's the date. I set a date. Here's the amount of money I'm going to have on this date. And then the do part was taking action, moving towards the end result. Okay. So you have to be that version of you. What does that mean? That means you have to shift your thoughts from, like I was saying, for me, the abused Denise was like, oh my God, how is this going to happen? Where am I going to live? How am I going to, because I was so financially dependent on my ex-husband. How am I going to pay the bills? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I had to shift that thinking into, this is me now. All right. I have the $10,000. I have moved. I'm living this amazing life. All the things. You have to be that version of you first. Then you do the things. Do is the action. Do the things to get you to have the end result. Does that make sense? You have to be, do, and have. People think you have to do, have, and be. No, it's mixed up. And that's by design as well. They want you to think it's mixed up to keep you in a place where you're limited. Okay. So for me, that was, again, I shifted. I thought, okay, $10,000, and started doing the thing. So what did the doing look like for me back then? It looked like I went and sold everything that I could. I sold furniture. I had garage sales every weekend. I sold my jewelry. I sold whatever to start to circulate the money coming in. Okay. And then once you start doing that, ideas start to come into your head to circulate money, more money, right? Selling stuff is a great way to start circulating money. There's so much shit that we own that we don't need. So much. Just look around your house, around your room. Like there's so much stuff. So I would have garage sales every weekend. I was selling the washer, the dryer. I was selling my wedding dress. I was selling anything and everything. I had people coming over that were shady as F that shouldn't have been in else. But I was like, I was such in like this mode of being the empowered Denise that I was like, nothing can hurt me. Nothing can harm me. This is happening. I'm doing it. I got a date to meet, a date on the calendar to meet. Boom, this is happening. All right. So that led to money coming in and ideas coming in, more money coming in. Now, so the end of December of 2010 to the time we left, which was May of 2011, in those 5 months, or maybe we left in June, I don't remember. In those 5 months of me circulating money, being the version of me. Okay, so here's another story that I want to share with you. Being the version of me looked like this. I had an opportunity to fly to Colorado. Okay, this was in between this time, right? The end of December when my daughter came to me and said that, until the day we left. My daughter came to me and said, or I had an opportunity to fly out to Colorado, spend almost 2 weeks there, and then drive from Colorado back to South Florida. Okay. It was a fun opportunity. I had never been in Colorado before. It was a fun opportunity. It was no business or anything like that. It was just a fun opportunity. So now the abused version of me, the abused Denise, said when this opportunity first came, the first thought in my head was like, oh no, oh no, I can't do that. I have to save for this move, right? Leaving the abusive relationship. I can't spend money on Colorado. Oh no. I quickly shifted out of the abused Denise thoughts into the empowered Denise thoughts. And the empowered Denise thoughts were, okay, Denise, so here's an opportunity. And if you were still in that relationship, you wouldn't have been able to do this, fulfill this opportunity because he wouldn't let me. Remember, there's a lot of control in those relationships. And now you're letting money stop you from doing this. So the empowered Denise said, you know what? That's true. Fuck the money. I'm going to Colorado, and somehow, some way, the money will show up. And I shit you not, ladies. By the time the date on the calendar came for us to leave, guess how much money I had in my bank account? Just take a wild guess. Now, this was 10 days I spent in Colorado. Now, I wasn't in Colorado 10 days spending money frivolously. I wasn't being reckless. I had a place to stay that was free. Like I didn't have a hotel and all of that stuff, all those expenses. It was literally the airline flight and like my food there, and a couple of fun things we did, like white river rafting and stuff like that. Guess how much? Just take a guess. Let me know. Take a guess of how much money I had in the account when it was time to go. Just take a guess. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. How much? And if you're listening on replay, let me know that as well. Let me know. Yep. You got it, Lisa. $10 fucking $1,000. $10,000 to the penny at $10,000. $10,000. How? Because I shifted. I was being the version of me who was out of that relationship. I was being the empowered version of me. That's how I had that $10,000 to the penny. When I swiped my debit card at Home Depot for the Penske truck, I had exactly 10,000.00 in my account to the fucking penny. So I share this with you to first let you know you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do anything. Yes, you can. You can do anything. And also, this is the process of how I removed myself from the relationship without becoming enmeshed in the drama, right? I focused on my future. I focused on what was ahead of me, not all the crap and the drama behind me. I focused on what was ahead of me, right? And in order to be ahead of me, I had to start planning. You got to plan it out. You got to write it out. You got to plan on what it is. Who is the version of you that's out of that relationship? Who is she? What does she dress like? What does she wear? Who's around her? How does she feel? What's her day-to-day activities? Where does she live? Does she work? Does she have a career? Does she have her own business? Who is she? How does she think? This is the biggest one. How does she think? Does the future version of you think the way you think now? Probably not. Probably not. So in order for you to remove yourself from the relationship without becoming enmeshed in the drama, is you have to be the version of you who's already out of that relationship. Does that make sense? Be the version of you. Yeah, the 10K that I needed. I'm still amazed. It's also manifesting, and you can manifest anything you want. You know, you can manifest, I'll just leave it at that. You can manifest anything you want. So you can manifest money. You can manifest the life that you want, where you want to live, the relationship that you want. You can manifest anything you want, anything. Okay. And so for the last part of this question, how do you remove yourself from the relationship without enmeshed in the drama? Listen, being in the drama is a choice. It's a choice. Do you want to be in the drama or do you not want to be in the drama? Okay. Even with the narcissist. Okay. Stay with me for a second on this one, because we all know that the narcissists, they're drama queens and kings. We know that. So you knowing that, how can you separate yourself from what you know that person is? Okay. So when the smear campaign starts, oh, honey, let me tell you about the smear campaign. The smear campaign is, that's what you're saying? That's what you're saying? That's fucking hilarious. Laugh it off. I'm serious. Laugh it off. It's a fucking joke. Laugh it off. Do not let the toxic person affect you any more than he or she already has. Laugh it off. What did Jesus do when people were talking crap about him? Did he respond? Or did he walk his walk? That's what you do. You walk in knowing who you are. You do not need to defend yourself to anybody. So here's another story about the smear campaign. A few years ago here in North Carolina, where I live, and I live in like, compared to South Florida, it's a small town. And I met this woman, and she, in a networking setting, and never met her before, didn't know who she was, didn't know anything about her. And she was like, hey, let's do a speaking thing together, because she knows what I do. I was like, great. All right. Long story short was, she wanted to do the speaking event together. It involved in putting out money first, then selling tickets. It was a speaking event, right? And so it had to do with marketing and all the things that go into gathering people and blah, 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 blah. So we're going through this, and I'm starting to get to know her a little bit through doing this event with her. And the red flags are waving at me. Oh boy, here we go. She's a freaking narcissist. And so I was like, all right, well, I already committed to this, is what I thought. And I'm going to fulfill this commitment. And then once this commitment is done, I'm done with her. Never have to see her again. I'm done. In the meantime, while planning this event, she was trying to pull me into her world, into her nonprofit. She wanted me to have a place in it. And so the meeting started to be about her business and her dream and her this. And I started to realize, I was like, this is what does this have to do with me and my business? This is all about her. So the smear campaign came in. It was, I think, a couple days or whatever before the event. And she called me and she said, look, this is how many tickets we sold. And it was a very small number. And the tickets were $75 per person. And one of the promises that we were given to the people was that you, by buying a ticket, you would be able to network with other people. Well, that wasn't happening with low ticket sales. So I suggested to her, why don't we postpone the date? Why don't we put the date out? And that way we can have more time to sell tickets and really like push it and hustle to get the tickets sold. No, we can't do that. She got very volatile, yelling at me, and I was like, okay. So basically I said, here's the deal. I'm done with you. Keep my money. I'm not doing this event with you. Pretty much F off. Goodbye. And so what happened after that was the smear campaign in this little town. It's not little, but you know what I mean. In the network that I was in, of her talking shit about me. So now people were saying, so-and-so said this and da-da-da-da. And here was my response. Okay. Now, when somebody asked me, because one of my friends, she said, Denise, why aren't you defending yourself? She's saying blah, 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 blah. And I said, I don't need to defend myself to anybody. The fuck? I don't need to defend myself to anybody. Now, when the same person, she asked me, well, Denise, can I ask you what happened? Oh, you're asking me? Then I'll respond. But if you're telling me that so-and-so said such and such, here's my response. Because the narcissist wants a response from you. The narcissist wants a reaction from you. And even if the conversation is between you and somebody else, the energy of you being upset, being hurt, being irate, your reaction has an energy and it is felt to the narcissist. So when you respond in a reaction, this is how the smear campaign stops. No reaction. Starve the narcissist. This is how you starve the narcissist. No reaction. Right? Because when you give a reaction, you're feeding. It's called narcissistic supply. You're feeding the supply to the narcissist. Now, when somebody asks you, like this woman asked me, she said, hey, Denise, okay, what happened? Oh, well, since you asked, I'll tell you the story. And I said to her, this is my version of the story. This is my half of the story. Okay. Because in every story, people see it through different lenses and all of that. This is what I experienced. Okay. When you're asked, does that help with the smear campaign? And that also answers without becoming enmeshed in the drama to the first question. And it really just boils down to that. It really does. So which version of you do you want to be now? Do you want to be the old version of you, the one who took the abuse, the one who is reactive to the narcissist or any narcissist? Or do you want to be the empowered you, the version of you who stands in her knowing and has a plan and creates what she needs and wants in her life for you and your children? Which version of you do you want to be now? Now. Okay. Decide right now which version of you want to be now, and be that version of you now. Now. All right, my loves, our time is up. It is 31 minutes past the hour. And if you have any questions, let me know. This happens to me all the time. And here is what I want to invite you to. If you're not already in getting the support that you need, I want to invite you to a Heal Your Heart session with me. And that is a no cost, no obligation, complimentary 30-minute call with me that you can have. And I'm going to post the link. Here it is in the Facebook to get the support that you're looking for, that you need to get out of this safe and sound and create the life that you want. To switch the identities from the old version of you to the new version of you. Grab that link, fill out the application, and let's connect. All right. And for those of you who are in the Life After Narcissism membership, I'll see you tonight and we will continue this conversation. All right, my loves, have an amazing day.